What's up, Outlaw Nation? Yes, I'm back, and I'm excited to see you too. I've been gone for a while. I appreciate the patience in the lull of my travels. So check it out. Today, I want to talk about May the 9th. So May the 9th is every May the 9th for years, Moscow has held a military parade marking the victory over Nazi Germany in 1945. So May the 9th is right around the corner. Today is May the 6th that I'm filming this. It's a significant event. Now, what is going to happen for Russia? Look, I don't know. But let me just kind of tell you a line of theories that I've been told. So theory number one is Russia wants to annex and stay annexed out of where they are, just like they did Georgia and Crimea. And they got the water that they wanted and stay annexed on that side and basically dig and start a trench war, and the war in Ukraine is over. That's a possibility. I don't know that I believe that. I don't know if you believe that, and it's okay, because there's lots of different theories, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even know that Putin knows what he wants to do yet. I think you have an idea and you go as far as that idea can go, but then you gotta say, oh, wait a minute, this was a good idea, and now this next step either you've prolonged the war or maybe you can cut the war off. So maybe that's a possibility. The other possibility is, all right, if you listen to the podcast I did with James Yeager, and if you listen to the TV show that I did on A Rude Awakening. So if you go to the YouTube, check out A Rude Awakening. Over the last 3 weeks, I did 3 different episodes with those guys talking about my experience. So it's pretty cool. Links below, check it out. I love those guys, Scott, Tiffany, the whole crew. Love you guys. Appreciate you having me on. Appreciate your support and your prayers in this. One of the things that you'll see is when we were over there, before I left to Ukraine, I had no idea what Azov was. Like none at all. And I saw a bunch of you guys posting on my pages and on James's pages about Azov this and Azov that, and I literally had no idea because Ukraine wasn't on my radar at all. After I started looking at those, I started saying, okay, who's Azov? Then I started meeting some people that knew of Azov in Ukraine. Now, understand this. They told me that symbol, the wolf's whatever it is, they told me that symbol was the hunting symbol of the Finnish people turned upside down, and they put a slash in it, and that was the unit patch. Okay, what I didn't realize was all of the history behind it. So the leaders of Azov, the ones that started it, now not all of them, but the ones that started it, did have some Nazi roots, it appears. And they did some pretty horrible things, and there was a possibility that the US was going to put them on the terror list. And as I understand it, they're surrounded in Mariupol right now. The Russians have concentrated on them. So it makes sense to me. One, the people that I knew that I got to meet there, none of them ever thought Azov was a Nazi group. But it also doesn't matter. If you look throughout history, people are punished because of their leaders. So if you have leader A and you have, I don't know how many people are in this platoon, but let's just say it's 2,000. The bottom 1,000 or the bottom 1,500 have no clue what that symbol means. They don't know that it had anything to do with Nazi. It's just a symbol. It would be like I was an eagle, I was a Wolverine, it's funny that I was a Wolverine and this is the Wolverines. But anyway, your high school mascot basically is where this come into. If you were in the military, your mascot, fireballs, whatever it is that you were. All right, that's their mascot. Most of them have no clue. Some of the top leadership, though, they do, and they may have some ties or some fondness of the Nazi group. I don't know, because I don't know those people. I haven't asked them in purpose. I do know what the news has said, and I do know what that symbol has meant now that I've researched it in the past. So when I went over there, James continually asked those people, all the Ukrainians that we met, I don't think that there was any that he didn't have the conversation when we could speak to them, is there Nazis here? And none of them knew of them, right? There was one little group that said, oh, there might be 3 or 4 of the little kids in there that are. Well, now you come back here and our news has told us from the past that, the leadership of that is. Okay, that is why Putin started this war. That's why he declared war, was because of Azov and the Nazis. That's what he said. So he didn't actually make it a war. He made it an attack on them to get Azov, right? Okay, where do you stand and where do you believe on that? I don't know. Here's the thing. I know that symbolism is a big deal. And so if you look all through the history of religions, symbolism, you could be following this symbolism and still be very wrong and have no idea that you're following it, right? Let's not go down too deep in that path. But what I want you to do is just think about this. So you could have this symbol on you and it actually means Nazi, but you had no idea. But in the end of the grand scheme of the world, it doesn't make you innocent, right? You are, because you don't know, but it doesn't make you innocent. So in my experience, what I saw was there were no Nazis. I didn't see them all. Also, I'm not naive enough to think that as an American over there, they wouldn't want to tell me anything that was bad, right? They'd only want to tell me the good because we're there helping them, trying to get them aid, trying to get them help. So I also understand that. I'm not naive enough to say that maybe it wasn't. Okay, so that symbol of Azov is a Nazi, an old Nazi symbol from 50, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, that today probably is a little Nazi as well. So now I see where Putin had the idea to attack, okay? So this is where I'm going with this long little story right here, all right? I said that there were no Nazis there in a couple other videos. I apologize about that. I shouldn't have said that because as I research more, there appears that there are. I did not meet any. I did not meet all of those guys, and all of the people told me that there wasn't. But going from the past, there probably was. And it's okay if I'm wrong. I mean, look, man, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm happy to say I'm wrong and go about my day. It'd be better than if I just tried to, continue on not saying I was wrong. So it is very possible that in the area that Azov is right now, and this is what I think is far more likely, could be totally wrong, we'll know if I am or not in a day or two. It is very possible that Putin uses a very large explosion, bomb, whatever you want to say. Probably not a tactical nuke, but maybe like what we would have as a Moab or something like that in this area and wipes out most of Azov. And then they declare that a victory. So I can see that is a possibility. I've been hearing a lot of rumors that could be a possibility. It's something that people are preparing for. So I could see, hey, we know where they are. I know they know where they are. So here's Azov right here. They have steadily surrounded Mariupol. And when I was there, I was like, I don't understand why you stay on Mariupol. But it makes sense now why they're staying on Mariupol if Azov was the reason they're there. So Azov's here, they're renowned as some of the hardest fighters there. They would be like, SEAL Team 6 or Delta Force to us. I mean, just a hard unit. And so they're there, they're fighting, they're not giving up. They're just going at it every day, hammering down. And so they're the inspiration to the people of not giving up in Ukraine. They're all in one spot and they have stayed on them. The Russians have not left attacking them. So here's what I see. There's a possibility for a major explosion to happen there or some major artillery that wipes out most, if not all, of Azov. And then Russia declares that as a victory for May 9th, but it doesn't mean anything else in Kiev, or it doesn't mean anything else in Lviv or the rest of Ukraine. That war continues to march on. I can very much see this because that would probably do a big number on breaking the spirits of the Ukrainians. I don't think it will all the way break them, but it would suck, right? If we lost all of our tier 1, we'd be like, oh my gosh, who's going to do it now? Well, there's always somebody else to step up. That's what would happen there. But I do see that as a probability. And then also the other side of this is nothing happens. They do their normal military parade and nothing happens. So from what I'm hearing from people over there, it's like 50-50. Some of them think that he'll just annex the land and call it the end of the war and it's all over. I don't think so because he spent so much money. The other one says maybe he has a way to get rid of most of Azov and he calls that a victory. That seems really likely to me. Or the other one is nothing happens and everything just keeps going like it is and May the 9th comes and goes, because it's so funny how our media is putting all of this stuff on May the 9th. It has to be done May the 9th. In a war, that really doesn't matter. They can celebrate it next May the 9th or the next May the 9th or 2030 May the 9th if they win, right? It doesn't have to be this May the 9th. The news is just say whatever to get a rile out of people that it drives me freaking crazy because most of the time it doesn't even make sense. And what really didn't make sense is when I'm over there on the ground and actually seeing this stuff. Now, of course, I only see a small portion of this. I don't see the whole thing. But the portion that I'm seeing is the portion that they're reporting, and they're not reporting the truth. I'm like, okay, you're just literally making this up to cause more drama in America because we're bored in America. That really is what this is. So, ending this, what is going to happen May the 9th? I don't know. There's a lot of different possibilities, but May the 9th is something to watch out for when it comes to the Russian-Ukrainian war. Where is the United States going to fall in this? I don't know. Somebody asked me if they dropped a tactical nuke on Ukraine, will the United States get involved? My answer to that is, I don't think so. And here's why. We would have to give something up. We would have to give up American cities in order to do this, right? Now, I don't believe Russia is the powerhouse that we thought that they were, that we were scared that they were. You know, growing up, everybody's like, oh, we don't want to mess with Russia. Still today, I come back home and everybody's like, we don't want to mess with Russia. And I'm like, send a squadron of A-10s over there and Russia doesn't exist anymore. But they do have the nuclear deterrent, right? And that's why people want nuclear bombs. I understand that now more than ever. They want these nuclear bombs so they say, look, you can attack me, but you lose New York or LA, or it doesn't matter. You just lose a small city. It doesn't matter. And then as a president here, you're like, okay, I'm not willing to risk 30, 40,000 of our people to continue on my mission, right? So that's the deterrent that Russia has right now, is that, yeah, he doesn't want to risk, even if they drop a tactical nuke, even if they drop 3 or 4, he doesn't want to risk that here. So it's my belief that he may drop 1 or 2 or 3. I don't think he'll drop any on Kiev because the city's too old and he wants it. And that he doesn't want to do all that damage like the old 11th century church. And like, he'll never get the people back there. If he does it to Azov, he might get the people back. If he does it to random citizens, he's never getting them back. I also don't flow with you guys that are conspiracy theorists. I never heard of, nor did I see them shooting innocent civilians. You know, the Ukrainians themselves, the Russians did, but the Ukrainians, they didn't. So I'm not going down that conspiracy theory road. I'm going on all likelihoods. What is likely? Likely, they continue the war just like it is. That's probably number one thing. Continue the war just like it is. Likely part number 2, they cut off where they are and say, this is what we wanted. We're going to annex this portion of the Ukraine. We're going to take this much over. We got our water back and the war's over. I don't know how likely that is, but maybe that's number 2. Number 3 is they do some sort of a tactical strike on Azov. And then, you know, number 4 is they just worry about this down the line, you know, which these are the kind of the options that make sense to me, right? It doesn't make sense to me that Russia's just going to claim a victory and walk away on May the 9th, because it's not a victory and the world knows it's not a victory. But as far as digging into the conspiracy theory side of this, being on the ground and seeing it, there was no conspiracy theories like most of you guys, maybe not you guys, but most other people that have been commenting on my pages said. That really didn't exist. But I mean, I know you're bored and you need to cause some kind of drama, or you need to believe something so you can be scared and be excited and stay up at night and research, right? Anyway, this is how I kind of see it. Pay attention to May the 9th. In all likelihood, nothing happens. And then you can go down the list. And so tell me in the comments below what you guys think is going to happen. I'd like to know what you guys think. Some of you guys have some awesome, educated opinions, and I really like hearing them because you give me a different thought, right? I don't know everything. Crap, I don't know anything. So I'm just trying to, you know, base my opinions just like you guys are. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Do me a favor. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications. We were in the algorithm. We got bumped out. Kick us back in there and let's get this thing going. We appreciate you, Outlaw Nation. Outlaw out.